What's up? What's goody out there, man? It is the homie, Mainman Mademan in the building, fight fans. Yes, sir. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing. I want to say once again, it's on. Once again, a honor and a pleasure, fight fans. A honor and a pleasure rocking out with the boxing fans and the boxing fam. Yes, sir. Sunday. You know what that means. Our time now, man. What up, though, fight fans? Thumbs up as you pull up. You already know. Thumbs up as you pull up. You already know. I want to give a major salute to everyone that catches this live. Major salute to everyone that catches this on the playback, man. Thumbs up as y'all pull up. Salute to the entire fam, man. What up, everybody, man? See, y'all didn't think that Mainman was coming on tonight. Y'all can keep it 100 with me. Man, Mainman ain't coming on, man. It's 9 o'clock on the Sunday night. That dude ain't coming on. Shit, Mainman in the building. Salute to the fam, man. I want to say thank you to everyone that come on through the night, man. I got my bro, first man on deck. What up, dude? Salute to my homie, the voice of reason, D-Lo 44 Boxing in the house. What's up, man? What's up with you? Salute to my homie, D-Lo 44 Boxing. Yes, sir. Muhammad Tola, my G, on deck. What's up, champ? Hope all is well, Muhammad Tola. Salute to the fam and salute to the chat. Salute to you, Muhammad Tola, all day. Salute to you, June Sports. What up, though? What up to everyone out there? Peace and prosperity to everyone. Same to you, June Sports. Same to you, champ. All day. You know it. My bro, Muhammad Tola says, yo, man. I watched the video where you was walking in the business district. I think you was on a break. Mainman has become a suit. Yes. Unfortunately, yes. Mainman has become a suit. The thing that Mainman despises the most, Mainman, is a damn suit. Ain't that something, man? That's exactly what I was doing, Muhammad Tola. I was on a little break, you know what I'm saying? I thought I'd chop it up with the fam because I haven't been spending the time that I need to be spending with the fam, you know what I mean? But y'all know I'm coming back real soon. Y'all just wait for me, hold me down. We will pick up our consistency once again. I'm preparing for a huge run, fight fans, a huge run. So yeah, man, I am a suit, champ. What's up with you? Dimitri Cohen, what up, man? Chilling, cooling. Can't complain, bro. Can't complain, man. Yes, sir. So let's get to it, fight fans. Let's get to it, man. We talk about a little bit of the sport, man. My boy Joe Joyce, fight fans. I'm hurting behind Joe Joyce today. Joe Joyce, y'all know I rock out with Joe Joyce, fight fans, and I'm hurting behind the Joe Joyce loss, man. I really am. Salute to my man Joe Joyce. He be back though. He be back, fight fans. And guess what? I'm not convinced. Oh, I like Zhang, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that he belongs here. I'm not convinced that he belongs here, fight fans. And we're going to talk about it. Let me get this music down just a little bit lower. But yeah, I'm not convinced that he belongs here, man. But before we get to it, fight fans, y'all know we are also upon the week of Gervonta Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia, man. So we know we on this is fight week for that fight right there. So we're gonna chop it up a little bit about that fight also, man. But yeah, man. Damn, Joe Joyce. Damn. So let's start right here, fight fans. Let's start right here. Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis. First off, let me say this. I am very happy and I'm hoping that we've got beyond this rehydration clause crap. I think now we got more than enough evidence, fight fans. I think we got more than enough evidence for there to be hashtag no excuses. What say y'all? We got more than enough evidence that there should be hashtag no excuses. I got Ryan Garcia's father walking around out here saying, oh, the rehydration, this is good. This is not a factor for us. This is great for Ryan. Oh, Tank shouldn't watch what he asked for. Cool. I got Ryan Garcia's pops on record clear as day, telling everybody that the rehydration clause is good for Ryan. So what are you complaining about, fight fans? What are you complaining about? I got Oscar De La Hoya out here telling everybody that, oh, well, you know, it's no big deal. The weight is great. Everybody, the weight is great. No one's complaining about the weight. The only one that seems to be having little grumblings and complaints about it is Ryan. I see Ryan out here talking about some, well, he couldn't eat or drink, and Tank he couldn't eat, he couldn't drink, he couldn't eat 9 ladies, he couldn't eat Skittles, fight fans. Tank told him exactly what ingredients to put in his food. I mean, I heard all of this crap. And I'm saying to myself, Ryan, why are you putting crap out here when you know it ain't true? You know it ain't true. Tank Davis don't got that kind of power. Nobody got that kind of power to tell you what you can and can't eat. That is the most redundant thing. And then, you know, a lot of y'all boxing fans believe it, believed it too. But that is the most redundant, stupid thing that I've ever heard. Oh, well, Tank Davis says I can't put sugar in my food. Tank Davis says I can't put salt in my food. It's all because of Tank Davis. Stop it. You know what I mean? All of that crying from Ryan, like we tired of hearing about it. Do you want the fight or do you not want the fight? If you lose, I don't want to have Ryan Garcia nights rolling through here talking about some, well, it's because of the weight, man. Then I got people talking about, oh, he looks drained. He looks so drained. Look, does Ryan want the fight or not? It's as simple as that. It's coming with hashtag no excuses. Your pops is on record saying that the weight ain't no problem, and Oscar's on record saying that the weight and the rehydration clause is no problem, fight fans. As a matter of fact, let's look at some of Oscar's words. Let's put them right here on the screen, shall we? According to Oscar De La Hoya, and sometimes he's even giving kind of mixed signals, you know what I'm saying? 1 minute it's okay, and the next minute they're complaining about it. According to Oscar De La Hoya, and I quote, listen, there's a reason why they, Team Tank, have the rehydration clause. There's a reason. Gervonta's team is not confident that they can beat him at 135, so they have to have a rehydration clause. Look, fight fans, I think we've already kind of reached to the point of saying, look, Tank just wants no edges. You're not going to come in here 155, 165 pounds. There's going to be no edges. You know what I mean? It was Ryan Garcia's fault, fight fans, that he didn't want to take a tune-up fight. Tank took a tune-up fight against Hector Garcia. Well, somewhat of a tune-up fight. That was a legitimate fight against Hector Garcia, right? He kept himself active. He didn't have to wait to the last minute and do all of this crap. No, he stayed active. He's in shape. He got back-to-back fighting camps. You the one, Ryan, been sitting around chilling. You chose not to have that tune-up fight between these fights. You had more than enough opportunity, right? He could have had a tune-up fight, but he chose not to because he didn't want to perhaps ruin his chances of getting the Tank fight. Or, in his words, risking injury. But you could have got off the couch, Holmes. You could have got off the couch. You could have got off the couch. You could have been in great shape, no complaints. You could have already had a training camp done. The whole 9 yards. Your confidence could have been running high, but you chose to sit on the couch, Ryan. Now, I'm not going to say what Canelo and Reynoso have said about Ryan Garcia, right? That's not here or there. Salute to my homie DGO. Just slid on up in a building. I see you, homie. Salute to you. Salute to you. I'm not going to go as far as Canelo and Ryan. Canelo and Eddie Reynoso, they call Ryan lazy. They said that Ryan was lazy. He didn't want to do this. He didn't want to do that. All I know is Ryan had an opportunity to get a tune-up fight. That way, maybe he wouldn't have been complaining so much about weight. Maybe he wouldn't be sitting around with the hungry face. I don't know. You know what I mean? But you chose not to do it, Holmes. So here's Oscar saying that they want a rehydration clause, and the reason is because they're not confident. Bro, what is there not to be confident about in Ryan Garcia? Like, they're making Ryan Garcia out like he's some big bad wolf, like he put that work in, fight fans. What work did he put in? What work we talking about, Luke? Huh? Tank is so afraid of Ryan, and he's not confident of bumbling knees Ryan because of what he did to Luke. Man, you know what he did to Luke is scaring Tank. You know that's what it is. The left hook, man. The left hook. It's like a scorpion's whip. Man, miss me with that shit. I had somebody hit me with that in the comment section. Yo, man, he got the left hook of a scorpion's whip. I say, yo, yeah, y'all been watching too much Mortal Kombat or something, bro. He got the left hook of a scorpion's whip. The man drops Luke the Fluke with one left hook, and the world is going crazy. And the world is going crazy. But Tank is supposed to be not confident because of Ryan and his Luke win. His Luke win, fight fans. According to Oscar De La Hoya, he says, and I quote, they're kind of like, oh, what did we get ourselves into? Ooh, we're so scared. What did we get ourselves into? Because Ryan is going to make the weight easy, and it's going to be no problem. Yeah, we'll see. So what is all this complaining about? If Ryan is going to make the weight with no problem, then Tank should have no edges. Then Tank should have no edges, right? If it's going to make the weight with no problem. I mean, y'all are like double talking here. But 1 minute, oh, Tank is looking, he's not confident, and then on the next hand, well, it's no problem with the weight. Then what are we talking about? What are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? I want to give a major salute to my homie D Luckett in that super chat, holding down and supporting the channel. Salute to my G D Luckett, and I hope all is well with you, D Luckett. Salute to you, champ, and thank you for that love, champ. Much love to you, man. Much love to you. Much love to you. He goes on and says that the big indication. Now they're saying that this is the biggest thing, right? This is the biggest thing in the world. They're saying that this is the biggest fight in boxing. This is going to save boxing, is what they're saying. I've even had some folks run around saying that the winner of this fight is going to be the face of boxing. Whatever, man. You know what I mean? Whatever they got to do to hype it. I don't believe it. I don't think y'all believe it. You don't feel it. I don't feel it. We know what the biggest fight in boxing is. Anytime that these, the two fighters involved, all they got to do is tweet. All they got to do is do any interview. It will take over the sport of boxing as a whole. Canelo who? Canelo what? You know what I'm saying? Oh, Mainman, it's Canelo. He's the face of boxing. No one cares about Canelo's John Ryder fight. All right, it's just a waste of time. It's just time passing by. At the end of the day, all of us know exactly what the biggest fight in boxing is, right? The fight that we've been pushing for the last, 4 to 5 years. The fight that if you mention any of these fighters' names, it takes over the sport like that. And I think y'all know exactly who those two men is. But they say it's this one, fight fans. They trying to tell us that the biggest fight in boxing is Tank and Ryan. I like the fight. I like what it does for the fight. I love the culture of the fight, whatever, cuz. But it ain't the biggest thing in boxing. And miss me with the whole, this is going to be the face of boxing with no damn belts. We're going to have that conversation. Does the face of boxing involve being is it a popularity thing, fight fans, or is it an achievement thing? I think we need to have that conversation because we need to set this in stone. And I wouldn't argue against anyone that says, well, Mainman, I don't gonna say I wouldn't argue, but it'll be a hard argument to say, yo, Mainman, it's about popularity. It's about the guy that can put 50,000 in an arena. It's about the guy that can, sell a bajillion pay-per-views. It's not about the guy with all of the belts. It's not about the fact that Terrence Crawford is going for 12 belts in his career. It's not about that, man. It's about the fact of who can put the asses in the seats. It's the Rolly Romeros of the world, huh? Is that what it is? These are the faces of boxing. I think that's going to be a hard sell. You may even create some sort of division in the sport of boxing with the hardcores and the casual fly-by-night fans, because the hardcores are going to have a real big problem swallowing that pill. Oh, well, man, it doesn't matter what he done. These kids are telling me belts don't matter, man. They're saying that belts don't matter. How can we make them the face of boxing? But then again, it is all about eyeballs. When you think about the face got to have eyeballs, right, fight fans? It's a hard argument, man. It's a hard argument. I mean, you can't sit back and say, well, Andre Ward and all of his splendor and the greatness that he did, SOG, #1 pound for pound. He was the face of boxing, man. He was undisputed. He won the Super 6. Oh, he was the face of boxing. People didn't say that. When it was given to Floyd. See, Floyd checked literally all boxes. Whether it was for the hardcores, he gave us 19 world champions, right? 4 divisions. And whether it was for the casuals, what he gave us the big name fights, right? The casual fights. He giving you the exhibitions. He giving you the Canelo fights of the world, the Maidanas of the world. he gave you a little bit of both. Before he became Money Made, he was Pretty Boy, right? So he checked literally every box to say, wow, this is why I'm the face of boxing. Even when Oscar De La Hoya was doing this thing, like Oscar literally checked all boxes. Oscar beat everybody. He went through several weight classes, right? He beat legends, everything under the sun. It wasn't just a casual thing with Oscar. He had the fan base. He was the golden boy, but he also checked the boxes of becoming a multi-division world champion, Hall of Famer, and everything else that's involved with that. So you see what I'm saying? Now, when we talking about with this set of fighters, well, they haven't checked all of those boxes. They haven't checked it. They may be popular. Yeah, they may be, oh, well, they're going to do this and do that because boxing is going to keep telling you how popular they are, and boxing is going to keep pushing in your face on how great this fight is. Great. But they're talking about the face of boxing, but you got just the popularity boxes clicked, or at least you're trying to click those boxes. What about the legacy boxes? What about the belts? What about the different weight classes? What about beating Hall of Fame fighters? What about putting that work in? That's what you gotta. It's a total package, right, fight fans? Andre Ward couldn't just do it on achievements alone. Hell, Terrence Crawford, the hottest name in boxing, checked every box legacy wise. Now some say, well, man, he ain't really that popular, and I would agree. A lot of Terrence Crawford's momentum, to a certain degree, comes from haters. There's a lot of haters involved with Terrence Crawford. They click his videos. The haters want to hear more than the supporters want to hear what was going on with Terrence Crawford. And he gets a lot of steam from that. But popular as in his supporters outnumber his ops, well, that's a different conversation. And maybe that's what's holding Terrence Crawford back. Because it's not support on a deafening level from just all supporters. You know what I'm saying? But he checked those boxes. So when we talk about this face of boxing stuff, we're talking about two fighters who can care less about belts. They're telling you that they're this and that because of their popularity, fight fans. How do you feel about that? Riddle me that. Let me see what the fam talking about. Salute to you all, man. Salute to you all. Salute to you all. DGO says, yo, man, come on, man. Why are we about to worry? Hold on. He says, why are we about to worry about all of these cherry pick tactics? This fight doesn't even count for anything. There is nothing on the line. It's all for show. And see, that is what that's how a hardcore going to look at things. I can't be mad at DGO on this because I know for sure he's a hardcore for sure. And it's about what have you done for me lately in this sport for guys like him. And I can't be mad at that answer right there, but I can't sit back and ignore this, DGO. We can't ignore it because it does have significance for the culture and it does have significance for the youth. That's something that the sport actually needs right now. The sport can't afford to turn away no fan, especially the newer generation of fans. So if it's at the very least may not be all the way satisfying for the hardcores, at least it does something for the youth and the future of boxing. You know what I mean? We could look at it from that lens. Muhammad Hamatola says, imagine if they drop Spence versus Crawford with this fight week. Bro, that'd be crazy. You know, that's the rumor, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. The rumor has it was supposed to be that they supposed to officially announce this on the Tank and Ryan card. Boxing fans have a hard time believing that, though, because we don't think PBC has been getting down like that. We haven't been seeing PBC do things like that. So boxing fans have a hard time believing it. But I tell you one thing, man, if this weekend comes and goes and we don't get an announcement, another punch in the gut right there, fight fans. Another punch in the gut. I'm sure a lot of people are to the point right now where we like, yo, I'm not getting my hopes up. It ain't gonna happen, man. But if they don't happen this weekend, what a punch in the gut. That'd be crazy, though, bro. That'd be crazy. Salute to my homie Pooh Dangles, man. He says Fury versus Zhang is the biggest fight in boxing. Laughing my ass off. Almost 600 pounds. Big facts. It's the fattest fight in boxing and shit. You know what I mean? Big facts, bro. The fattest fight in boxing if that fight goes down. Shit, they're gonna have to put extra support up under that ring for sure, man. You know what I mean? Have Big Baby up under there holding the ring up and shit. You feel me? Shoot to Mike Ladaris, man. Mike says, yo, Tank didn't need a rehydration clause for Azteca, and he's even bigger than Garcia. It looks like Tank isn't confident. Well, I don't know Tank to be bigger than Garcia. I don't know Tank to be bigger than Garcia. I get it. Tank fought at 140 pounds, but he only did it once. He only did it once, and it wasn't a consistent thing. And it could be argued, how big did he honestly look for 140? If you go back to that Barrios fight. Don't work like that. It's not about Tank not being confident. Tank fights at 135 last time I checked. Last time I checked, Tank's fight against Hector Garcia was at 135. And last time I checked, Tank was also the A side. So he can set the terms on how he so pleases. If Ryan don't like it, tell Ryan to go fight somebody else then. Tell Ryan to go fight Devin. When Devin was on Ryan's side, Ryan ain't looked Devin's way. I see Ryan out here in the public now. Oh, well, after this fight is over, I'm going to go and try to call up Devin Haney. What? You got the nerve to utter those words when Devin Haney was operating over there on DAZN for as far as we can remember, and y'all didn't even look his way. Now all of a sudden Devin ain't on DAZN. They want to fight Devin. Ryan be on some smoke and mirrors crap, man. You know what I'm saying? All this smoke and mirrors crap. Ain't nobody, like I said before, all Ryan had to do was keep himself in shape and ready to go. You got to move according to how Tank wants this fight. Ryan running around tomorrow, oh, I get all of the credit for making this fight, oh, why? Because you got screwed over in negotiations? Because you ain't stand for nothing? Because Tank is the A side? And he demanded this fight on his terms, the way he wanted it? Look, man, if Ryan don't like these kind of terms, win. Boxing fans act like that's a foreign concept nowadays. You know what I mean? Win. This ain't the first or last fighter that's been put under terms that ain't the fairest to him. I listened to Floyd Mayweather say when he fought Oscar De La Hoya, Oscar put pillows on his hands and then took him up to 154. And asked for the bigger ring. Floyd had to bow down and give all A-side terms to Oscar De La Hoya. And he still turned around and won that damn fight. That's the way it goes. It's this softness in boxing. It has to stop. Oh my God, boy. And then he ain't even taking him to 35. He taking him to a catch weight. What, he's fighting at 36? We talk about 4 pounds. 4 pounds. If he would have kept his ass off the couch and took the tune-up fight, we wouldn't be crying so much. Y'all got to stop the crying for Ryan, man. We got to stop it, fight fans. We got to stop it. The face of boxing is definitely about popularity and revenues making, says Muhammad told. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's why I say it's hard for me to argue that, bro. It really is hard to argue that. Eyeballs is everything when you talk about the face of something. A lot of popularity is involved, but once again, in our sport, we have hardcore fans where it's going to be hard, especially for my historians, that those who come from previous eras. They're gonna look at this and say, "Man, I'm just not used to this, man. I'm just not used to this. This doesn't make sense to me." Mike says, "Yo, saying Ryder isn't worthy is just nonsense. Ryder earned his spot by not ducking every challenge like Andre, who pulled out of the Parker fight twice. Parker was #1 in the WBO, and Ryder stopped him. Not to mention his victory over Daniel Jacobs. I think all in all, Mike, what is going to always come down to, and we always have this argument and debate amongst boxing fans, especially here on the channel, what it's going to always come down to in the end is giving the fans what they want to see. You can make every single excuse in the book or every reason why Canelo is okay to take this fight. It's not going to sit over with a lot of boxing fans because there are fights out there that they really want to see Canelo do. And I get it. Canelo fans, well, someone's always asking of him to do this, and why they always asking Canelo to do that. I totally understand that, but there's still fights out there that's been hanging out there for a long time that Canelo seems to want to just keep looking around, and people seeing it, and we noticed that people want the Benavidez fight, they want the Charlo fight, they want the Andre fight, and everything you put in front of them that's not these names, people gonna always have a problem with. I get it. You can make a case for John Ryder. But we've seen it before. We've seen, Callum Smith versus Canelo and Rocky Fielding versus Canelo. We've seen this caliber and this style before to a certain degree, and we see how Canelo does. But the fights that we want, we ain't getting. That's what I mean, Mike. It's not going to matter how much you try to explain it and make it okay. It's just not what the fans ask for. And y'all may be okay with keep giving up pay-per-view money for shit that y'all don't ask for. I ain't okay with that. You know what I'm saying? That's why boxing do us the way they do us. Because we just keep falling for every single trick in the fucking book. You know what I mean? Give us what we want, bruh. Especially when you're getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? Like you're the most popular fighter in the sport. You're being paid very, very, very well. Very well to see him fight Fielding and Callum Smith and John Ryder. Come on, man. Billy Joe Saunders and shit. Like, y'all can make it like these the greatest fighters in the world. I don't see none of them fighters I just named beating Charlo, Andre, or Benavidez. Tell me I'm lying. Do you see Callum Smith, Rocky Fielding, or John Ryder beating Andre, Charlo, or Benavidez? Riddle me that. Yet Canelo ain't fought them. He fought the Smith brothers, but he ain't fight the Charlo brothers. And I got a problem with that, Mike. And I got a problem with that. Tell me I'm lying, Mike. Would you not rather have for him to fight the Charlo brothers over the Smith brothers for your cash? For your cash? You'd have been like, man, I'd rather pay my money for this shit. You hear me, though? That's all I'm saying, Mike. That's all I'm saying, champ. That's all I'm saying. D-Lo says, yo, man, they've been trying to oversell us on this fight, and they have been almost convinced me not to buy it. Damn, it's having a reverse effect on my boy D-Lo out there. I feel you, bro. They pushing it in our face every second of the day. You know what I mean? Like forcing it on you and shit. It's like the latest rap song. You know what I mean? You'll hear that rap song and be like, this shit trash, bro. I could never sit back and play and listen to this trash type music. But then the radio will put it on over and over and over and over again. And next thing you know, you bopping your head to it. The art of repetition. One of the biggest marketing tools known to man, fight fans. I want to give a major salute to my homie Sly Tendencies 87 in the super chat. Thank you for your support, Sly Tendencies, and much love to you. He says, good evening. Thoughts on Big Bag's left hand. Holy sh, bro, that left hand was, let's just say, man, that left hand was just perfect, bro. It was landing perfect. It was thrown perfect. It had some thud in it. It closed my guy's eye, bruh. Didn't see that one coming. Not Zhang, Zhang, man. Not Zhang. The big left hand from China. Crazy, man. Let's talk about that, champ. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that for a second. Before I do, hold on. Give me 1 second before we get to that Zhang and Joe Joyce thing real quick. I asked this question earlier this week on the channel, fight fans. I just want to stop real quick right here. I asked this question earlier this week on the channel. Is Crawford going to be an all-time great? An all-time great if he defeats Errol Spence Jr. Now, a lot of y'all say, yo, main man. I think he already an all-time great. And I mean, a lot of y'all have came through and said that, and some of y'all have made some really, really good arguments saying, yo, man, I don't see no reason why we're not giving them that already. I mean, beating multiple division champions, beating unified champions, covering several weight classes. I mean, what are we talking about? What he's touched thus far, 8 total belts when you include the 2 lineals, 8 total belts. If he beats Errol Spence, we're talking about a total of 12 belts in 3 weight classes, fight fans. We're talking about a total of 12 belts in 3 weight classes. You damn Skippy. This man knocking on the door of all-time great status. Well, main man is who he beat. Who hasn't he beat? He's beaten unified. He's beaten multiple division champions. What's next? Beat Sean Porter. What's next? Beat the best opposition on Errol Spence's resume. What's next? If you put Earl on top of what he's already done. Now, don't look at this from a standpoint of what by itself. I'm talking about adding Earl to the mix. Why aren't we giving him all-time great status at that point? At this point, being undisputed in 2 weight classes, fight fans. Now, somebody came to me and said, let's flip that coin, man. If Earl Spence Jr. defeats Terrence Crawford, would he be considered an all-time great? The answer for me on that might just be a no. I may need a division. I may need a division or two. I may need him moving up in weight one time. Well, main man, Marvin Hagler didn't do it. Well, we don't have a bunch of Sugar Ray Leonards and Roberto Duran's and Tommy Hearns running around in today's boxing. So when y'all keep running around telling me what Marvin Hagler done, all because he stayed in one weight class, well, you tell me the caliber of fighters that are existing in the weight classes today on the level of Hearns, Hagler, Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard and shit. Yeah, Hagler didn't move out of the middleweight division. Yeah, he was only in one division champion. But the fact of the matter was he fought some damn good ass fighters. Do you see that caliber existing in today's fight game? So when you say, well, man, Earl, if he beats Crawford, will he be considered an all-time great? Maybe, you know what? Maybe I ought to think about this. Maybe that's something to think about there. Maybe I shouldn't give a quick answer on that. I just look at it like Mikey, even if you throw Bud in the mix, Mikey, Bud, Ugas, Sean, Kale. Mikey, 4-division champion, but he was a 35-pounder. Sean never won in another division. Kale never won in another division. Ugas never won in another division. So he doesn't even have he does got Mikey, who was a multiple division champion, but he was a 35-pounder, fight fans. Does Earl have to do more? Even if he beats Terrence Crawford to get that ATG status? Or is that enough? Riddle me that. It's close. It's real close. Real close. Salute to Miss Elisa Bay. Salute to you. Miss Elisa B. Salute to you, Miss Elisa B. Salute to you. Salute to your sister. And thank you for coming on through tonight. Salute to you. Sly Tendency says, oh, Big Bang. You called them big bags in your super chat. You said, oh, Big Bang. Yeah, Big Bang's left hand. Hey, Big Bang's left hand was serious, champ. That thing was serious, man. Hey, Sly Tendency says they pushing it like Miley Cyrus, man. Non-stop, bro. 24/7. I woke up like 4 o'clock in the morning, got on YouTube, and all I seen was videos of Tank and Ryan, bro. Every freaking way. You know what I'm saying? Salute to my homie L Dub Boxing out there, man. The encyclopedia of boxing. My main man out there. Hope all is well with your L Dub. And salute to you, champ. Salute to you. Y'all want to keep up on them boxing rankings? Y'all want to keep up on all of the nicks and crannies of the sport? Right here. My main man L Dub Boxing to keep you exactly where you want to be. You know what I'm saying? Slot Tendency says, oh, he was hitting dude at will. Didn't see that coming at all. Didn't see that coming at all either, champ. Didn't see that coming at all. Both episodes of All Access did 3.1 and 2.1 so far. Tank versus Ryan is definitely lit. Expect to see a lot of celebrities in the sold-out T-Mobile Arena. Well, that's good stuff, man. I'm hoping for a successful event, Muhammad Tola. I'm expecting for Tank to bring him out. I mean, this is the same dude that brought out Madonna. This is the same dude that opens up markets where boxing wasn't even the norm. So I'm expecting for this one to be star-studded, celebrities everywhere. And this is why it's good for the culture right here. You know what I mean? And it brings extra attention, extra eyeballs, the feeling of a big event. All of that is good for boxing. And that's exactly what Tank and Ryan does. And so from that standpoint, I'm happy about it. You know what I mean? Real spill. Budango says, question, if Crawford beats Spence and Jamel is he the best ever? Shit. I don't know about the best ever. That's a bold statement right there. But bro, he's definitely on the Mount Rushmore of boxing. He's definitely up there with the red air. You know what I mean? He's definitely up there with the red air. We're talking about with the Alis, with the greats, bro, with the sacred air. You do something like that, you wipe out Charlo and Spence on top of what you've already done, bro. Ain't nobody gonna be able to have no argument against it. That shit gonna be Trump tight. Trump tight. First ballot all day. Trump fucking tight. You know what I'm saying? So he do something like that. That's going to exceed not only my expectations, but every boxing fan expectations known to man. Anyone that has anything to do with the sport, their expectation would have been thoroughly surpassed if Terrence Crawford was to do something like that. Trust and believe. You know what I mean? Hit that thumbs up for the homie champions. Hit that thumbs up for me, man. While y'all sitting back chilling, looking at me, hit that thumbs up for me, man. Thumbs up, fight fans. Thumbs up. So yeah, man. I look at that whole all-time great thing. I think that we're gonna have to give it to Bud Crawford if he beats Earl Spence Jr. We're gonna have to give it to him, fight fans. All day. All day. Salute to my homie Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz and more in the house. What's up, Bruce Gas? Hope all is well up north, champ. Hope all is well up north. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave that one alone, fight fans. Let's keep on pushing on, right? Let's keep on pushing on. Just to kind of double back before I get to the Joyce stuff. The double back to the Tank thing. Let me just say this real quick. I'm gonna put this out there since this is a fight week for Tank and Ryan. I'm gonna say this in my prediction for this fight. Hear me when I tell you, fight fans. I'm going to throw in my prediction. Ryan Garcia is going to get knocked down in this fight. I see it happening from opening rounds 1 through 3, maybe even 1 through 4. I think Ryan Garcia gets knocked down and has to fight back from adversity. I think he will throw some rounds in the bank coming back from adversity, which he will get credit and kudos for. The boxing fans will look at this, or should I say the spinners afterwards will spin this in a way where Ryan, he fought his heart out. He made it back to his feet. And he just kept on fighting and he threw some rounds in the bank. He'll get awarded for his resilience to a certain degree. You know what I mean? I think that's how it's going to look. But I think that Ryan would eventually throw some rounds in the bank in those middle rounds, only just to be timed by a solid shot and be put to sleep by Tank Davis. I think that fight is going to go similar to that, but I honestly think that we'll have a fight where Ryan will be fighting from behind. I think that Ryan gets knocked. I just don't think he'll be able to stand up to the power of Tank early. One solid shot may put him down. Knees too stiff, still stands too straight up in the air, fight fans. All I can just see is counter shots landing on him all day. Y'all may say, well, man, he got the footwork, he got the movement to scoot out of there, he got the range to stay at distance. Not with his knees are not as fast as it seems. His feet are not that fast, fight fans. And I think he's going to get caught up. I think he's going to get caught up throwing one of them speedy combinations. And I think something going to come right between them shits. Pow! Later rounds. So really can't wait to break this fight down a little further as the week progresses, fight fans. But hear me when I tell y'all, Ryan is going to be fighting from behind. And he's going to get rounds in the bank. And that may be the thing that honestly saves his reputation. I think we're going to get a similar fight to something like that, fight fans. Something like that. Muhammad Tola says, if I was a promoter, I would have Spence and Crawford in attendance and have them jump in the ring, grab the mic, and say it's on. Hey, that'll be, hey, bruh. If PBC is smart, they would do something like that. That would set boxing on fire for the next week, 2-3 weeks, going straight into more PBC talk. Like them and their brand would be the center of boxing talk for weeks and weeks to come. First, this forcing this in your face week upon week, and then when we honestly get that, boxing talk will not talk about nothing else, fight fans. I know a lot of y'all who may say to yourselves, well, man, I'm so sick and tired of Crawford and Spence. I'm gonna tell you right now, Joe, y'all ain't seen nothing yet. If you're tired of it, now, y'all ain't seen. The second this fight get announced, no one is going to talk about nothing else. And I think the powers that be in the sport of boxing knows that. That's why they're waiting on the opportune time or the right time to really let this cat out the bag, because they know once it happens, everything else gets dark. There's nothing enough to talk about. No one cares about Zhang. No one cares about Joyce. No one cares about what's going on, the crazy debacle with Fury and Usyk. No one cares. No one cares about, hell, I hate to say this, but Devin and Loma better watch out. Devin and Loma better watch out, because if this thing gets announced before Devin and Loma gets off the ground, hey, that fight gonna get skunked. I'm telling y'all real spill. That fight gonna get skunked. I know Bob Arum's got to be sitting over there like, oh Lord, I hope they don't do it. At least wait till after my pay-per-view happens and then say it. I know he's sitting back saying that. I know it, because if they let Crawford and Spence out the bag before Devin and Loman, and Devin and Loman is in May, May 20 something, right? That's a nice little ways away. People gonna still watch that fight. I'm definitely gonna watch that fight. But I'm telling you, as far as the build up to it, it's gonna come to a screeching halt. It's gonna come to a screeching halt, fight fans. I'm telling y'all, real spill. So we'll see if PBC gonna run that type of game, man. We'll see if they're gonna run that type of game. Let's talk about this, fight fans. Let's talk about this. Did I put this on here? Hold on. Let me add this on here real quick. I thought I did this already. All right, there we go. We got to talk about this fight. My boy Joe Joyce, man. My boy Joe Joyce, man. What happened to my main man Joe Joyce, fight fans? What the hell, bruh? I'm still a Joe Joyce fan. I'm still rocking out with Joe Joyce. Zhang got away with a fluke, and I'm going to say it. The man got away with a fluke, fight fans. If my guy's eye doesn't go, if Joe Joyce's eye doesn't go, I think Juggernaut pulls this out. Like I said in my post-fight video, fight fans, this cosmetically looked to me just like a Joe Joyce fight. I know y'all got turned off. A lot of y'all are giving Zhang a lot of credit today for his power and his ability to stand in the trenches with Joe. That's all good stuff. But the thing is with Joe is his superpower is not to get you out of there early. His superpower is not to go in there one big right hand and boom. This is not Deontay Wilder, fight fans. Joe's superpower is his engine and his ability to take a shot. That's Joe. We couldn't figure out which heavyweight, aside from Deontay Wilder, was going to be that magic heavyweight that was going to stand in there and deal with that. Well, Zhang dealt with it and dealt with it pretty well. But I will admit, he had the assistance of a doctor, and the fact that his beautiful left hand that he was landing all night long closed out the right eye of Joe Joyce. So I gotta say, man, I just think that cosmetically, this fight was going typical Joe Joyce fashion. Zhilei Zhang is a fader, always known to be. Good fast hands, good combination puncher. I'll give him full credit for that. Heavy hands, right? But his engine has always been questionable. You go back to the Herkovich fight. You go back to the Jerry Force fights where a lot of people thought that he was going to win, come out front loading, looking good in those early rounds. Mid to late start to slow down, takes too much time off in the fight. That's Zhang. Zhang. I keep calling him Zhang. It's Zhang, actually, right? That's Zhang though, and that's Scooby snacks for Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce, I believe, was going to lead this dude in the 7th or 8th round. If we would have kept going down that stretch, you see how Joyce was fighting. He was active as hell. His punch numbers were up. His volume was up. His activity was up. His defense definitely wasn't up. But everything else was up. It was a typical Joe Joyce fight. Zhang even got to the point where his punch output had took a major hit in the midway of that fight. His output was slowing down, and I thought Joe Joyce was going to keep on going. But unfortunately, his eye wouldn't let it go. Let's look at the punch stats here, fight fans. Let's just take a glance at these punch stats, shall we? Now, let's look at this, man. If you look in these early, in those first couple rounds, right? Total punches landed and thrown. Look at that. First round, Joe Joyce only landed 4 punches compared to Zhang's 14 punches. Look at 2, 15 to 16 punches landed. Look at round 3, 23 to 15 punches landed. Keep in mind, Joe Joyce is outworking Zhang in each and every round. Round 5, 21 punches landed. And then round 6, where the stoppage came, where the doctor shut it down, he only landed 4. But I'm looking at these numbers, and look at Zhang's numbers. In rounds 5, he landed 13 out of 25 thrown. His punch output had dipped. His punch output was already in half of what Joe was doing. Joe's punch output was up, and Joe would have kept fighting in that fashion if that eye wouldn't have went. He would have kept fighting like that, fight fans, all the way to that final bell. And y'all know he would have. Y'all know he would have. Now, Joe gets a lot of credit for his jab, man. I think it's the slowest jab in the heavyweight division. But it's a slow, heavy, effective jab. You know what I mean? But he didn't land much of it in those early rounds. You can see in that second column. Didn't land much in those early rounds. But however, the jab stayed pretty consistent all the way pretty much to the 6th round, and he only landed 2. Now, Zhang wasn't landing anything in the jab department. Now, this is the reason that Zhang won that fight. Correct me if I'm wrong. That very last column that pulled that fight over for him. Power shots. That straight left hand, right, fight fans? That beautiful straight left hand is what won this fight for Zhang. And if you'll notice with the power punches of Zhang, 13 power shots landed in round 1 out of 14 total punches thrown, meaning that most of his shots landed were power shots. The cleaner effective punching, if you will. Joyce didn't get a lot of credit for the volume. I didn't, you know what? I should have pulled up the judges' scorecards, man. I want to see how much credit for the volume that the judges were giving him. But at this point in the stage, it was that the power shots that was marking up Joyce's face. That left hand, him dealing with a southpaw. Clearly, he had problems with a southpaw last night, fight fans. And so, all in all, in the very bottom, when you look at total punches landed, Joyce landed a total of 85 punches out of 464 punches thrown, fight fans. 464 punches thrown. It looked like a StreamYard might have cut off my artwork there. That I can't get that bottom one for Zhang, unfortunately. But we do got Joyce's. That's 464 punches thrown. I wonder how much total did Zhang threw. I'm willing to bet he outthrew him by at least 200 punches. I'm willing to bet he outthrew him by at least 200 punches. But those power shots, that straight left hand, and look at the percentage that he was landing his power shots, fight fans. 59% in the first round. 51%, 58%, 55%, 61% in round 5. Everything he was landing was that left hand. It was landing almost damn near at will, man. At will. Let's listen to see what Joyce had to say about this fight, bro. And we got some words from him, man. He says, when it comes to this fight fans, he says, as far as the rematch is concerned, we know that according to the reporting, there is an immediate rematch clause if Joyce wants to go right back into the rematch. And according to Joyce, I'm going to decide if I'm going to have some time off and reflect and watch the tape and see where I went wrong. I've had my loss, but I'll be back. In my opinion, I think Joyce should get back in there with Zhang. I don't think that we got a situation where, the style was all wrong for him, or Joyce won't have no chance in the rematch, man, or he should go back and make some adjustments, man. I don't think that we got a situation like that here, fight fans. Joyce says he wasn't even hurt in this fight. He says that even with his eye closed, he could have continued. It wasn't a Kell Brook moment where he took the knee and his orbital bone was hurting so bad. It wasn't that moment. It wasn't a Daniel Dubois moment. I know a lot of people running around with man. It's the same fate. It's karma coming back to him because of what he did to Daniel Dubois. He took Daniel Dubois' eye, so karma took his eye. Nah, this ain't nothing like that. It was a more situation where Zhang was throwing the perfect punch. Clearly, Joyce was not prepared for a southpaw because that left hand was landing too easy. And Zhang for actually a great fight against Joyce. I mean, economical, wasn't overly burning himself out. Landing them, like I said, the harder more thudding shots. Wasn't doing that death by 1,000 cuts like Joyce likes to do. No, he fought like an actual heavyweight. Heavy shots, heavy punches. Every time he seen them openings, he took them. I thought Zhang fought a very good fight. Came in much heavier than Joyce. Roughly about 20 pounds heavier than Joyce last night. All of those things are ingredients to give Joyce problems. Fast hands, heavy puncher, size, the ability to absorb a shot just like Joe normally does. And Zhang had all that going for him. He had it all. It was a perfect storm for Joyce, if you will. And now I didn't think the left hand would land that easy, but still it was a perfect storm. But once again, do I think that Joyce has a chance on going back in there and getting the victory? 100%. He's saying that something to the effect of taking a tune up. Now, if they want to say take a tune up to see how the eye's doing, that's one thing. But I wouldn't let this linger out there but so long before you wrap this up. We know, far as the championship picture is concerned, Zhang is going to have to pretty much wait in line, even though he won the WBO interim belt from Joe Joyce. Next in line is going to be Daniel Dubois for Oleksandr Usyk, who is the champion. And after Daniel Dubois, if Usyk doesn't fight Tyson Fury, then he's going to have to pivot to his IBF mandatory and Filip Hrgović. And after that situation is over, then he'll come back around to the WBO mandatory, which currently now is Zhang. But that will give more than enough time for Joe Joyce to go back in there and get this rematch again. Get this win, get that WBO interim title back, and put yourself back into title contention. So he got more than enough time to do what he wants to do. And maybe this is why they're even thinking about a tune-up, because they're probably looking at the timeline of all of this and saying, well, we got time. We don't have to just rush back in there, right? And it's not like he's going to get a championship fight anytime soon. If Zhang is smart, Zhang should go back after Filip Hrgović. I know Hrgović may not take the opportunity. He may look at it as, hey, I'm the head guy in the IBF. I'm next in line for a title shot. I don't want to risk that. That could be the case. I wouldn't deny it. But if Zhang's people can gin up another fight, a rematch with Hrgović, I would like to see him go back into that rematch and tie that up. I think that'd be a good route for Zhang, at least while he's waiting. But in the meantime, who knows, man? I see Dillian White out here barking, you know what I mean, saying he'll like to take the fight. I don't know. I like Zhang, honestly, for Jared Anderson. Well, man, that's too much. That's too much, too fast. No, I think that's a good level. I think that's a good level. I love Jared Anderson versus Zhang. I love Jared Anderson versus Zhang. You know what I mean? I like to see something like that too, but I don't know. I mean, Zhang is going to want to make the most of this opportunity. He's not going to want to take a contender prospect type guy, but bro, you're going to have to fall in line, and politically it's not going to line up for Zhang. I don't know, unless his country gets involved. You know how these promoters get when their countries get involved. According to Joe Joyce, the journey will continue. I can still see through the eye, and I think that it's just bruised. It's unfortunate, but I'll be back. I thought that I was doing well in there, and I couldn't get away from his straight. It went on to say straight left hand. Yeah, that was the magic punch all night long. And we know Joe Joyce ain't got good head movement. He ain't got no head movement. It don't exist in Joe Joyce. We know he ain't got no upper body movement. We know he's a brute who comes forward, working behind that tricky, slow jab. Death by 1,000 cuts, start hitting you with those little shots with his heavy hands, and start weighing you down over time. We know this is who Joe Joyce really is. And you know, him not having no defense, and people are, oh well, we knew it. That's who Joe Joyce is, man. He's going to rise and fall on who he is, and I respect that. Now, early in this fight last night, it looked like he tried to box a little bit, right? It looked like he was kind of keeping his distance, kind of working his jab a little and trying to move a little bit, and didn't do so well doing that. But he eventually resorted back to the traditional Joe Joyce that we all know, and that's just who he is, man. He's going to have to just be that guy. It ain't going to be great for him post the fight game. It ain't going to be great for his brain cells, but he has stamped himself and put in his DNA, this is who I am at this point in his career. Changing that would be catastrophic, fight fans. As crazy as that might sound, man, he got to think about his health. But I don't know if Joe Joyce's health is affected. Like, have y'all, when you listen to Joe Joyce talk, after a fight, his face can be bruised up all the crazy, but his brain ain't bruised whatsoever. It's like he still talks the same. He act like nothing is wrong with him. Like, oh, I didn't even feel anything in there. His face be all mocked up and shit. And it's like, oh, I can go another 12 rounds. That's Joe Joyce. He don't got like no pain thresholds. Like the nerves been taken out of his face or something. You know what I mean? So I don't think, honestly, he was hurt in this fight. And I honestly think it all came down to the eye. According to Joe Joyce, he says, and I quote, "It's an eye for an eye again now. I got my eye done. And it's like what I did. I got a bit of payback from Dubois, I guess. Maybe it's karma," end quote. Maybe so. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, hopefully this injury doesn't nag Joe Joyce going down the stretch, because I don't know if the doctors stopped it mainly because he couldn't see any more left hands coming, because it started landing so frequent where it almost, you had to wonder, could he even see it coming? You know what I mean? And I don't even know if the dude even seen it coming. You know what I mean? Yeah, but maybe it was karma, man. According to Zilio Zhang, he says, and I quote, "Today belongs to me. It belongs to everyone who showed up. It belongs to every Chinese person who showed up today. China should be celebrating, man. This is a big victory for Zilio Zhang. He needed this victory right here to, like I said before, keep his name in the conversation. After the Herkovich loss, after the Jerry Force draw, he needed this name, man. He needed someone to give people more confidence and to want to continue to root for him. And what this win does effectively keeps his name alive. He beat one of the top 5 heavyweights in today's fight game. That's a huge deal for a fighter like Zilio Zhang. You know what I mean? He goes on and says, and I quote, "I'm 39 years old, but I'm disciplined. I train hard, and the next step is for me to fight for a world title." End quote. Now he's 30, and the crazy thing about Zilio Zhang is that he's a late bloomer. From what I understand, Zilio Zhang did not get into the fight game like big time until he was like 31 years old. This is not a dude who's been fighting since he's been, 10, 11, 12 years old. This is a guy who picked up the game late, and he turned around. He defeated a top 5 heavyweight. That's not easy to do, fight fans. That's not easy to do. And so you got to give him full credit for keeping his head up, full credit for not getting too debilitated from those losses and kept on going forward, dog. He ain't listened to the criticism. He ain't listened to the talk. I'm sure a lot of folks looking at the betting odds, counted them out in this fight. If I'm not mistaken, the odds that I actually saw with my own 2 eyes had Joe Joyce at minus 900. But I heard the commentators on the broadcast saying that Joe Joyce reached as high as minus 1100. So the betting line showed you that you were a huge underdog. Not one boxing fan thought you would have pulled this out. You have shocked the boxing world, and he should be happy, man. He should be very, very proud of himself. You know what I mean? Now, just like I told y'all before, according to the order of things, he gonna have to stay active. Usyk's next mandatory will be to the WBA, and they're talking about Usyk versus Dubois. I favor Usyk heavier in that fight fans. And then, of course, they're talking about them going to also Herkovich. Herkovich is next in line with the IBF after the WBA. You know what I mean? So, hey, man, far as a championship level fight for Zilio Zhang, don't look like that's going to happen no time soon. But if he continues to play his position, perhaps maybe we'll have to give Joe Joyce that rematch. Whoever they kind of give him in the meantime, between time, he'll keep himself occupied. You know what I mean? So that's what he's just going to have to do, fight fans. That's just what he's going to have to do. I'm going to see what some of the fam is talking about. Hey, Pudango says, yo, man, I think that the WBO is going to order Zhang to fight Wilder or Wallin. That'd be cool. Hey, I like Wallin versus Zhang. That's a chess match, believe it or not. That's a chess match at the heavyweight division. I really like Wallin. Somebody gonna have to give Wallin a shot, man. It's like, I'm keeping my third eye open, and I'm noticing how they kind of freezing out Wallin. And ever since he's kind of shown he's getting better and better every fight, nobody don't want no smoke with Otto Wallin. I'm noticing that. Y'all ain't peeping that out? They are going around Otto Wallin. Wallin was willing to step in for everybody. Dimitri Salita got Wallin willing to step in on any heavyweight fight at any given time. But people keep running around and acting like Otto Wallin doesn't exist. That's a good fight for anybody at heavyweight. Anybody. But I'll take any of those fights, bro. I'll take Wilder versus Zhang. That's a good stay busy fight for Deontay Wilder. We'll take it. It ain't nothing on the line probably for what he wants at this point other than positioning. But we'll take it. I think Wilder will knock Zhang ass all the way out. Zhang, he'll be tough. I think he'll take a few right hands. I don't think he just goes away on the first one. He'll be tough, and you still would have to deal with the fast hands of Zhang. But taking him into deep waters, he can definitely be drowned, fight fans. He can definitely be drowned. Budango says Joyce and Dubois is nothing more than White and Chisora. LOL. Hey, Joyce and Dubois? Nah, man. Hey, I think Joyce is the real deal, man. Now, as for Daniel Dubois, he's always had a question about his heart. That's why when we got down to Joe Joyce, he had questions about his heart, and he had an experience gap there too. When he fought Joe Joyce, see, you got to understand, he never been in no position where he was under duress. He was never put into a position where he was on that back foot and couldn't figure it out. And he didn't have emergency moments in the ring. So we didn't know what to expect when those moments came. But when that moment came versus Joyce, he folded. And I get it, the pain from the eye, the orbital bone. I get it. But the fact still, during those moments, he did not surpass those moments. And it is what it is. D-Lo says, yo, Zhang probably should have stayed away from revisiting Hrgovic as well, because he will never get Hrgovic under the circumstances that he got the first fight. If Hrgovic is on his shit, he fares much better. So, yeah, I mean, I would like to see him do it mainly because how close it was. And there's a heavy consensus out there of Zhang got robbed or Zhang could have got that win. You know what I mean? So mopping it up just with it, and then, you know, by him coming off a good win and Hrgovic being where he's at in the IBF, it will be a storyline there. It would be some momentum there. You know what I mean? It can almost be seen even to a certain degree as a rivalry. So it just gives him something interesting to do. It's better than fighting Dave Allen or some shit, or him fighting Derek Chisora or some shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see nothing like that. It's better than us getting something like that. You know what I mean? But I hear what you're saying, D-Lo. We get a better version of Hrgovic. It may be a wider gap, huh, man? High risk, low reward for Zhang, says Mark Christopher Atkins. I mean, they can fight for positions. I like to fight for positions. D-Lo says, I like the guys mixing it up in some way. Top Rank needs to sign Zhang ASAP. That'd be great. Then we lining up Zhang versus Jared Anderson. That will be fire. And you know, Top Rank, they love to invest into the Asian boxers. I didn't look into Zhang's promotional situation, man. I gotta find that out, because if Top Rank got it in there, I'm surprised that they haven't exploited that by now, or they not on Zhang's line calling them up like yesterday. Not to mention he's in position also, and Zhang, if he's looking to do the rematch with Joyce, Frank Warren and Bob Arum does business like it is no business. So Zhang's next couple fights can be lined up under Bob Arum. He can get a Jared Anderson. He can get a Joe Joyce. His future could be very bright. That's a good point, D-Lo. That's a very good point. Joyce got hurt several times in there, says D-Lo, for boxing. Yeah, he did. He got dinged up pretty good in the second round. I believe it was I want to say the second round. He got dinged up pretty good. And I thought he took a couple rounds to recover. I honestly thought that he was fighting hurt. He was fighting hurt in a couple rounds, and he had to recover, because you can see he had that Mr. T thing going. And y'all know what that Mr. T thing is, right? When his head constantly getting bopped back. Y'all remember how in Rocky 3, every time Mr. T would get punched with a jab from Rocky, his head was just flipping back. And I seen Joe Joyce's head doing that same thing. He had that Mr. T thing going. When you get that Mr. T thing going, those punches are really affecting you in a different kind of way. You know what I mean? So, yeah, he definitely got hurt several times, man. Pudango says, BoxRec got Zhang living in Jersey. What? I thought he was from China, man. I thought they run around here talking about China power, man. Nah, man. What's he talking about? He from Jersey. Hey, yo, man. Bruce Gass says, yo, you gotta love Joyce for taking it like a true professional. 100%. He didn't make no excuses. And he was willing to continue in this fight if the doctor would have allowed it. That's why I like about Joe Joyce. You might beat him, but you ain't beating the fight out of him. You might beat him, but you ain't beating him. Like Joe Joyce feeling good this morning. His eye closed, yeah. His eye may be stinging him a little bit, but his ego, his spirits, his mind ain't hurt one bit. I don't think it's that easy to penetrate Joe Joyce up here. I think he locks a lot of stuff out. I think he's tough right here. And I think, honestly, he sees himself the same way today as he seen yesterday. That's what I believe. You know what I mean? So to my Facebook user, whomever you are out there, he say, what's up, K? So that must be family calling me by my first name. You know what I'm saying? Out of Tank, Devin, and Shakur, the man is Shakur. Oh, big facts. Big facts. The man is definitely Shakur. And I've been hearing all of the talk went down over the last week and all of this stuff, but Devin and Shakur. Hey, look, man, like I said before, how come when it comes to Devin and Shakur, we got to jump through loop, hoops, and shoots? It's always impossible. Oh, it's Bob Arum's fault. Oh, it's that person's fault. Look, Bob Arum made it crystal clear. After the Lomachenko and Devin fight, they can sit down and talk about a deal. Bob is not going to be swindled by these Haneys. He know the game that they play. He know they like to take a deal and run over to here and run over to there and go over here and shop it around. He know the game that they play, and he ain't gonna play that game. He know that they on the last fight thing. He know he can only negotiate, but so far they free agents. What Bob is going to do is, after this is over, perhaps sit down and say, can we have a deal? Now, once again, I don't think that Bob is inclined to make that fight like that, mainly because of the styles of the fighters. Two slick black fighters don't equal money in Bob Arum's mind. That may be an issue. But I do think that he'll sit down and maybe try to do a decent deal, whatever he deems as the right financial deal to make for that fight. I think he'll sit down and want to have that conversation afterwards. And Bob should want to have that conversation, because if Devin defeats Lomachenko, the only chance outside of Devin Haney vacating those belts, the only chance that Bob Arum has to grab those belts and bring him back to that stable is Shakur. Shakur will have to be his knight. Other than that, those belts will float everywhere. But, or if Devin Haney want to stop up the division and say, oh, I ain't doing nothing until I get the fight that I want and I'm holding on all of the belt. Well, guess what? The only fighter that can walk into that fire, and he's in position to do so, is Shakur. It's Shakur. And I lean towards Shakur over Devin all day. All day. If Shakur can put that work in as a pup and a smaller fighter to Devin, like I know, and I get it, they both were kids in the sparring match, but if Shakur can do that back in the day as the smaller, younger fighter, bro, I see him leaps and bounds better today. Leaps and bounds better, and more nastier, and more meaner. I think if the Haneys are smart, they stay away from Shakur. Shakur will wreck their whole program, fight fans. He is the wrecking ball that I think that they may want to stay away from. And I don't think that the Haneys have any sort of plans on facing Shakur Stevens. I think they're just talking a good game. They're talking to keep up with the talk because they love to talk. But I don't think they have any plans or reservations. They'll come to the public and fake the funk like they did with Gary and everybody else. But they don't have no plans on fighting Shakur. Yeah, if y'all think that, y'all fooling yourself. If y'all don't think that this is a, well, as they call a publicity stunt, the only publicity stunt is on that side. You can't call Shakur a publicity stunt when everything that he talks about he's actually done. Shakur is giving you the opportunity technically, and you the undisputed champion, because you don't get no credit for your opponents. You want the validation. If you want validation, Shakur sits up on the pound for pound list. There go your validation right there. See, people are saying Loma's old. Loma's past it, man. Oh, well, Loma versus Jermaine Ortiz didn't look so good, man. Well, guess what, cuzzo? If you want that validation, you have to go through Shakur. Shakur sits higher on the pound for pound rankings than Tank. He sits higher than Loma. He sits higher than Ryan, and he sits higher than Devin. And I wish somebody tell me I'm lying. He sits higher on the pound for pound rankings than all of y'all. Frank Martin, Keyshawn Davis, all of y'all. The one that's put the most work in has been Shakur. Y'all can make it like, oh, he ain't that popular. You know how we always do this shit. Oh, he's so accomplished. He's such a great fighter, but no one knows him. Okay, all right, Mr. or Mrs. Promoter. The fact of the matter is, when it comes to putting that work in, no one's done it like Shakur. He's moved up to a weight class and wiped out the very best of a weight class. Has Tank done that, fight fans? Has Devin done that? The very best. I got my man Shakur wiping out Oscar Valdez and Jamel Herring. Easy work. Easy work. And then, like, by margins, fight fan. I'm talking about margins. And that was the best of the class. Have any of these boys done that? Shakur is giving you what you need. Y'all can fake it, but they don't really want that kind of validation. That's too much of a threat. It would derail the train, just like Gary Antoine Russell. We know what this game is about. Shakur Stevenson and Gary Antoine Russell are certified threats to the Haneys. You need to understand that, fight fans. Y'all may not like to hear that if you're a Haney fan, but that's the truth. When it comes to Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson, it's hold up, wait a minute, make sure some more money is in it. When it comes to Devin Haney and Gary Antoine Russell, they don't even act like the man exists. Y'all understand that? The biggest threats to Haney right there. They'll move up and say, "Oh, it was up with Teo," and they'll say, "Oh, it was up with Josh Taylor or whatever." But they will not even look Gary Antoine's way. No, too high risk, no reward, right? All that reward will go back towards Gary Antoine, and they knows it. I just want somebody to call my bluff. I just want somebody to say, no, man, he's not afraid of Gary Antoine Russell. I want somebody to say that with proof. I want somebody to say that with proof, because you got none. So at the end of the day, yeah, man, Shakur and Gary Antoine are the biggest threats. Now, Devin needs to stay focused on Lomachenko, though. And I will admit that. Just don't let nobody distract you from this Lomachenko fight. This Lomachenko fight is serious business. Loma's gearing up. I think it's an uphill battle for Lomachenko, but do not underestimate Vasyl Lomachenko. Don't all of the Shakur and tank talk and all that. Let your daddy do that shit. Let your daddy get out here in the trenches and sell y'all brand and pass y'all brand around. That's cool. But you, sir, worry about Vasyl Lomachenko, because Loma getting ready. This is the ultimate crossroads for Vasyl Lomachenko. And what you cannot do is underestimate that. See, this is the dream of Lomachenko, to become undisputed. You should be expecting the very best version of the man. You can't go by, oh, no, Jermaine Ortiz fight. The first early rounds of that Jermaine Ortiz fight, Loma struggled. I got Lomachenko fans saying, yo, main man, the reason that Lomachenko struggled versus Jermaine Ortiz, because that was his sparring partner. Yo, main man, Jermaine Ortiz got more power than Devin Haney. That's why he struggled with that. And Devin Haney ain't got no power, so he should be able to get around Haney's shots. No. When you go back to that fight, what Lomachenko struggled with was the jab. J-A-B. The jab, not the right hand like Teo had. When Teo stood at the front door with the right hand ready to let it go. No. Loma couldn't get around the jab. The jab was picking him apart. That's the thing. And Devin has, in my opinion, a better jab than Jermaine Ortiz. And I think that Devin is much more educated than Jermaine Ortiz. So that's why I see the uphill battle. Now I get the power argument. Salute to my homie Mike. Mike, I saw your comment. You say, yo, main man, Loma has a problem with power. Loma fears power, and Devin don't have no power. I hear that crystal clear. But Devin has a jab. What did we say in this last fight? He was jabba-dabba-doo, right? He was jabba-dabba-doo. Devin has a jab, and it's long, and it's educated, and he knows how to use it very well, and he's young. I look at that Jermaine Ortiz fight, and I say, if Jermaine could have sustained what he was doing for a couple more rounds, he could have got the nod in that fight. And I think that Devin will. I don't know, fight fans. Tell me where I'm going wrong. Michael Diaz says Jared Anderson versus Zhang next, man. That next title, Jared Anderson versus Zhang next title eliminator would be fire. Yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir. That shit would be fire, bro. It's a great fight because it'd be the name recognition that Jared Anderson is looking for. It's not too much of a high level step up where it's impossible to see him winning that fight. The name recognition for that fight, everything that has to do with that, it would be just great for Jared Anderson. And who knows, if Jared can get in there and defeat Zhang and take that positioning more than anything, it'd be all worthwhile. Dilo says that I think that Zhang actually does live in New Jersey. Oh, he do live in New Jersey. So we making fun of the man for living in New Jersey. The whole time he's from New Jersey. I just thought he was from China. Like the way he talking, like he representing China around this jump. I thought he was with China. You know what I mean? Facebook user says, yo, a heavyweight. I like Big Baby Anderson. I like Big Baby Anderson too. I just need him to get that name. I can't think of a better name at this current moment than Zilio Zhang, bro. It has the momentum, the name recognition, all that good stuff. You know what I mean? Yet Wallen can't get any smoke. Wallen tried to get Joyce as well. You're right, D-Lo. Wallen is no smoke Wallen right now. He is a high risk, low reward fight for a lot of these heavyweights. And you think about where these heavyweights are at in their careers right now. Deontay Wilder, he's at a position where he wants some big name fight or a title shot. Wallen can mess things up right there. Tyson Fury almost lost the fight. He would never give Wallen that rematch. You know what I mean? Anthony Joshua, well, he's in rebuilding mode. Wallen can wreck that whole program, right? And as for Alexander Usyk and Wallen, that'd be a very interesting fight. I would favor Usyk to beat Wallen in a boxing match. I honestly don't think that Wallen would be that much threatening to Usyk. I think that he threatens the other heavyweights stylistically, but far stylistically with Usyk, I don't think he's that big of a threat. Wallen and Joe Joyce, that'd be tough. That'd be tough because Wallen got a good tank. That'd be tough. Can he deal with those punches going down the stretch? But Wallen has a good tank, and Wallen is a mover. He'll be trying to force Joe Joyce to run into shots all night long. That'd be a tough fight. Tough fight for any of them. Dilo says, I think that Wilder is the only big game hunting, but maybe he would take it if the stakes made sense. If it made sense, maybe for the positioning of it, but then again, I don't know. I mean, it's like the game is so political when it comes to Deontay Wilder. He may look at it as it's still a waste of time. Even to face this guy and be in position for Usyk. Usyk is not going to welcome him. And not to mention, Zhang position is like second or third in line. You know what I mean? Which it doesn't make the position coveted for the guys like Deontay Wilder, or maybe even an Anthony Joshua. It's not that big of a deal to them. Now, for a Dillian White, that'd be everything. You know what I mean? For Alexander Povetkin, that'd be everything. Yeah, Luis Ortiz, that'd be everything. But his positioning is like second or third in line. So I don't know if they'll be running after. Now, for Jared Anderson, it'd be great. It'd be great for Jared Anderson. That'd be great. I have no issues with Herkovich versus Zhang rematch. I think that's a beautiful fight. And I think Zhang would like to clear it up, man. Just to clear it up. Bob can get Loma a title fight coming off of Haney's loss. Rather, it's at 135 if Haney move up or Navarrete. Bob can get Loma a title fight coming off of a Haney loss. Yeah, that's true. Probably could. I mean, Bob could still pivot Loma towards Shakur. I mean, even if Loma lost to Devin Haney, long as it's not like by like a crazy ass margin, like he got stopped by Devin Haney and Devin Haney has no pop. So if he gets stopped by Devin Haney, it's like going to be a big deal. Long as something like that don't happen, bro. I mean, if Loma loses by a respectable margin, Loma can still go off and get that Shakur fight, man. I mean, what else is Shakur going to do? Like you said, other than that or Navarrete or some shit like that, you know what I mean? But that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. I want to give a major salute to my homie, Big Dose 513 in the house. What's up, Big Dose? Chilling, champ. We about to wrap this on up, man. But chilling, champ. Glad you can rock on through with me, man. Glad you can come on through and chill with me and the fam. You know what I'm saying? Antonio Myers says, yo, facts. Shakur Stevenson is the best out of all of them. No complaints from me, champ. No complaints from me. D'Lo says, yo, Devin was the one who jumped out the window and downgraded Loma when Teo beat him years ago. Now he is fighting him and he wants his props. If he beats him, a foot in his mouth. That's very true. They went for a real long time downplaying Lomachenko. And now all you hear from Devin Haney and Bill Haney is, oh, we want the credit, and how good he is. Y'all the ones that are responsible for the image that Lomachenko got out here to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? Y'all responsible for it, but at the end of the day, they still should be prepared for the very best Vasyl Lomachenko. Some people wondering, is Devin going to have a problem landing that jab on Lomachenko with the footwork? I don't think Jermaine Ortiz had much of a problem. You just got to be patient with it. You can't be jittery. You can't be nervous. Just got to be patient with it. Touch him every chance you get. Touch him and reset him every chance you get. But you got to be very, very patient. And I will admit, it's going to take some sitting down on something to affect Vasyl Lomachenko coming through the front door. Devin is going to have to give him something respectable in that right hand. If Devin don't give him nothing respectable in that right hand, could he win a boxing match? Yeah, I mean, he could definitely throw 7 rounds in the bank, but you're going to have to stand on some punches, and Devin is going to have to watch out. Fight fans. Devin is going to have to watch out for the boogeyman. I don't care what no one says. I think the threat of the boogeyman is heavy in this fight. Bob Arum is saying that Vasyl Lomachenko and Shakur Stevenson will be a much easier fight to make. Bob Arum, whenever the Haney's was on that stage at the press conference speaking about how they were free agents, Bob will pivot back to that Ukrainian story and he's a hero and like he didn't want to talk about that shit on that stage, but he knows about it. You better beat Lomachenko, and I'm talking about beat Lomachenko. I'm talking about respectable margin, and it's gonna take some power. You're gonna have to hit him with some clean, decisive shots. You're going to have to convince a perhaps hard to convince judging outfit. I'm just being 100 about that. The boogeyman can definitely show up, fight fans. The threat of corruption is heavy in this fight. Devin got to make it clean. Clean. You know what I mean? If y'all don't think that threat existed in the George Kambosos fight, there's a threat that exists in this fight also. You know what I mean? Real spill. Michael says, the smart thing that for Devin is to fight Teo and Josh Winner in later 2023, then move up to 147 immediately, fight for a vacant WBO title when Bud smokes Earl, and move up for a Jamel fight. Then that's a lot of moving. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of moving, champ. That's a lot of moving. But you know what? Devin, who was already talking about the Teo Josh Winner, that's a very probable thing. Now, we know Devin technically wants Tank. Everybody wants Tank. You know what I mean? But Tank out there, handling his business real quick. And Devin ain't on the right side of the street. So at the end of the day, depending on where Devin's business goes in his next fight, should determine who he fights next. If he sits down and calls PBC, he should be getting a Tank fight. If he sits down and he wants to run back to Eddie, then guess what? You're going to be over there fighting God knows who. You know what I'm saying? And if he goes back to Bob, free agent or not, a lot of good fights there. Teo Josh Winner, Shakur, a lot of good fights there. So the future is bright. It's going to depend on his next business move to a certain degree. And either way it goes, man, good fights all around the board. And hell, even if he give PBC a call, Gary Antoine Russell is now going to be added to that agenda. So a lot of the future is real bright for Devin if he gets through Lomachenko, man. He'll leave a free agent. Big fights on every network as far as the eye can see. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it makes a lot of sense. And he'll probably hold on to those belts to keep his leverage intact. Say if he can get a fight with Tank, or if he can get a fight with maybe even Ryan, if Ryan loses, or when Ryan loses. I think he'll still entertain a fight with Ryan. The future will still be bright. The future will still be bright for Haney, man, unless he stays away from Shakur and Gary Antoine Russell. You feel me? Winner of Taylor versus Teo can be Crawford's mandatory. Taylor versus Teo could be if they had the heart to move up. Teo ain't gonna move up, and Josh Taylor will. Josh Taylor rather hang down there and fight on 35 and 40 pounders, as opposed to what he told us a couple years ago at this point, that he would move up to 147. I told y'all, bro, Terrence Crawford got him getting injuries, have these boys afraid to move up, and I got proof to tell you while I'm saying this shit, fight fans. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? D-Lo says, man, he is from China. It's like how Beterbiev lives in Montreal and Bivol lives in Cali. So that means that Zhang is from China by way of New Jersey, fight fans. You know what I'm saying? He is from China by way of New Jersey. Imagine me ride through New Jersey seeing Zilio Zhang big ass up there. And I'm up in Jersey all the time. I always go to Atlantic City. You know what I mean? If I see Zilio Zhang ass up in Atlantic City, I'm going to trip out. Fight fans. But it is what it is, man. I'm gonna get ready to shut this on down, fight fans. It's been an interesting show for me tonight. You know what I'm saying? All in all, fight fans, like I said, I believe that my guy Joe Joyce will bounce back. I expect for him to be back into contention very, very soon. I'm hoping that he does this rematch with Zilio Zhang. Zhang, don't lose until then. We don't want to hear nothing about no Zilio Zhang that took a loss to damn Dave Allen or somebody before my man Joe Joyce has a chance to get his hands back on him. So we want Zilio Zhang in a rematch for my main man Joe Joyce, fight fans. Joe Joyce, like I said, has nothing style-wise to be concerned about. If in his next fight He want to go into a tune-up and take a southpaw. That may be a good thing. Maybe getting used to that southpaw thing may help Joe, because the left was just landing too damn easy. His head was too much on the line, fight fans. I mean, every time. He needs some working to do to learn how to move away from that southpaw hand, man. You know what I mean? And I noticed in the early portions of the fight, he was moving towards the brick hand. But however, in the second half of the fight, he started to move away from it more. But it had already piled up on him by then. So it's very unfortunate. But salute to Zhang, man. So it is what it is, man. I want to give major love to everybody, man, that came and rocked out with the homie tonight for the latest episode of We Talking Boxing Live. Fight fans, much love to each and every one of y'all, man. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the support, man. Hit that thumbs up on the way out if you did not hit it on the way in. Share, and rock those bells. Hey, I got to get my main man up in here. Salute to the G, Orlando Finney, coming on through, man. Salute to you, fam, and much love to my G, Orlando Finney. He says, yo, peace out, main man, and have a great week next week. Same to you, fight fans. I will be making a concentrated effort this week, fight fans, to make sure that I'm on here a little bit more this week and coming through live. You know what I mean? I want to say thank y'all for rocking out with me and the fam tonight. Y'all have a blessed night. Stay stressed and sucker free. Remember, the devil is everywhere, fight fans. Omnipresent, everywhere at the same time. He want to see you sad, depressed. He wants you sitting around and making you believe that you are not more than a conqueror when you are more than a conqueror. Y'all go over and conquer this week, and y'all be great this week. And the homie will see y'all real soon, fight fans. And until the next video, man. Peace out.
You are now listening to